This is York's only local show on York's only local station. This is the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK.
Listen to your show every day. It's really good.
I have you guys on every morning to wake up to.
Gary Sutton, mornings 6 to 9 on Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOYK.
All the things you're talking about are all things we're talking about. It's Main Street America every day.
And you're getting your money's worth.
You're a brilliant mind, tremendous experience. You're great for the community.
The Gary Sutton Show on York's first station, WOYK.
To infinity and beyond.
Now, broadcasting live from WOYK's downtown York studios inside Wellspan Park, here's Gary Sutton.
Well, Gary obviously not here, but good news. He had his procedure yesterday, and all is well. He said he was resting comfortably. They had a recovery room for him. And he then went home. So he was actually at home by early evening and resting comfortably. And, I'd say, when they poke a hole in you, it obviously hurts a little bit. Aaron Anderson here today, the guest host. I mean, have you had a procedure of any sort? I guess that's maybe hip-hop.
Well, I've had a lot of I've had a lot of procedures, Mark.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
right on air, you want me to tell all of my procedures?
No, we don't. I don't want any details.
I will if you want me to.
No, I'm talking about the pain aspect to it. Like, I had a gallbladder out several years ago, and you know what hurt the most wasn't the laparoscopic, I guess is how you say it, where they don't cut you per se. They just stick the thing in you, and so it's a little bit different. So the wound isn't quite as big. But the biggest thing the pain that I remember the most was they blow you up.
Yes.
To be able to see everything a little bit better, and they use was it nitrogen?
To blow you up?
Yes,
we should. There's probably a more technical term than that because I'm picturing like a drone strike.
Yes, no.
When you say blow you up,
no, I meant like puff like a balloon.
They puff you up.
And when I was home, they said, "Well, make sure you walk a lot because you want to get that gas out of you." And it actually rose. Get this, through my shoulders.
Through your shoulders.
All my shoulder, the right across was painful, and it was because they said that's the gas, and it'll walk some more.
That was a middle school laugh because you said they need to get the gas out of you.
Yes, I got it. Yes.
Yeah. I had a shoulder surgery once. That was pretty painful. And my wife just had a partial knee replacement. And she's a trooper.
Wait. What's a partial?
Well, it's like only part of your knee, right?
Really?
Yeah. Well, the one side of the knee.
No kidding.
And she's
I didn't
doing
even
great.
know they did that.
Yeah. You can get a full or a partial. This one, they don't cut the ACL tendon.
Welcome to Surgical Talk.
Yes.
This is your host, Mark and Aaron. Anyway, Gary is doing well, and very happy to hear that. And with any kind of luck, he will be back here on Monday. Aaron, of course, has had other trials and tribulations this week.
Yes.
He has turned 50 years old.
Oh, my goodness. What are we doing? It's 50 years old.
I looked at your face. Did just
I look
kind
older?
of judging, like, does he look 50? I'm going to say you don't.
Oh, well, thank you. They say that 50s is your happiest generation. Is that true, Mark?
I think the one you're in is always the happiest.
See, there you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
That's the kind of high-quality wisdom people are looking for on a Friday morning.
Hey, speaking of wisdom, let's let everybody know one little piece of business.
Our presenting sponsors of the Gary Sutton Show are Kindness Worldwide and Anstein and Sparler, attorneys at law. Kindness Worldwide, where you can find them right now. Do one act of kindness today and change your world. Kindness Worldwide is ready to help you with that today. And then also Anstein and Sparler, attorneys at law, located at 117 East Market Street here in York. They are ready to help you with all of your law needs. 717-846-8811 is their number, open Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 5. We are the proud sponsors here of the Gary Sutton Show with Anstein and Sparler, attorneys at law, and kindnessworldwide.org.
So let's get back to the age discussion. So how did you except I've seen some of your posts on the Facebook stuff, and it all looks very positive. But what is it in your soul?
Oh no, it's good. It's good.
Oh, okay.
I'm grateful. You know, to have lived half a century. You know, my kids, my wife did a couple that we just had kind of a nice weekend. And my son, actually, one of the most meaningful things was my son wrote a piece to me that they posted on our, which was all about me being his dad. And it was one of those very moving moments. So,
did you wonder what he wanted? Like, the
well,
keys to the car,
it'll come around. You know, it'll come around at some point. You've seen you've read the book, The Giving Tree, right? You remember the book? Yeah, that's where we're headed. That's the older and older I get. You know, I'll at some point just be a stump that they can barely sit on. Oh, there's nothing left to give. They've taken it all.
Well, I will tell you that. I remember we were talking off the air, and in the old days, 40 was a big deal, and you said 40 wasn't anything for you, but now 50 might be the new 40.
I think it could be. Don't you think I think people dress younger, they act younger.
It's true.
We are living a little longer. So is 50 the new 40?
But let me ask you, do you think you're cool?
Oh, I know I'm cool.
Because Gary had some poll results earlier this week, and many people think they are cooler than they are.
Well, I didn't. That's a different question. Do I think that I'm cooler than I actually am?
Do you?
That's my kids keep me pretty humble.
I think that's true.
You know, you get kids. Yeah. They will. I have to tell them all the time how cool I am.
And you have a passel of them. So
I have a passel. Wow.
What do you think of that?
That was very.
Yeah, we like to introduce words.
Obstreperous of you.
Thank you. Let's talk about. It is Friday, May 15th. It is Bring Flowers to Someone Day. So this is a great way to just. You know, that kindness aspect that they're always talking about, which, by the way, we're going to talk with Kevin Smith from the K-20 in Florida. I hope he got a good night's rest. He'll be here in about an hour. But Bring Flowers to Someone Day. That's just an easy thing that you could do. Dinosaur Day.
Well, hold on. That flowers, that's a good. I actually, for Mother's Day this year, that's what I did for my mom.
That's different.
No. But what I did is different. Because I set her up on every other week. She's going to be delivered flowers for the next 3 months.
Oh, wow.
See,
does it matter what kind of flowers?
I don't care what flower, unless they're poisonous. I don't want to send there's something poisonous.
Well, maybe she has a favorite flower.
I think they're flowers. I mean, come
on. It is. That's very nice. Dinosaur Day, Endangered Species Day, International Day of Families. It is NASCAR Day. Do you know how I celebrate NASCAR Day?
You don't.
I walk around in a circle.
That
it is
dad joke.
National Bike to Work Day.
Did you bike to work?
No, it's a little far for me.
Well,
National Nylon Stockings Day. See, this is a holdover. Who wears nylons anymore? Women don't wear nylons.
This is nonsense.
Yes, it's ridiculous. It's just something. Why? Because they were invented on this day. That's why.
Okay.
It's National Senior Fraud Awareness Day, and check in with you. If you ever suspect fraud, the Area Agency on Aging. Each county has an agency. You should check in with them. And they have some helpful tips, and they'll be able to point you in the right direction. It is Peace Officers Memorial Day today, so make note of that. As far as food holidays, National Chocolate Chip Day.
Now that's something we can get a little energy around.
Should be a national holiday, actually. Chocolate Chip Day. Love chocolate chips in all their forms.
Dark milk, white chocolate chips.
Especially the size.
The size?
Yes, because some items like this brownie here, it has chocolate chips in them. And there's, normal chocolate chips. But I'm talking even the kind, I have a favorite ice cream, the chocolate chip cookie dough by Tillamook. It has, they're almost, I'm going to describe them as shards of chocolate. So technically it is a chip of some sort, but the different textures that are brought by larger chips, shards, it all works. And it's also National Pizza Party Day.
Now that pizza, it's always pizza movie night in the Anderson house
Excellent.
on Friday.
So what do you know what the movie is ahead of
Heck
time?
no. That's Mark. This is a problem.
Is that right?
We get the pizza. It's hot. It's beautiful, and then we sit down to watch the dang movie, and you have like 100,000 choices.
Who selects the movie? Or you all do it at the same time?
We're a democracy.
Oh no.
Sometimes it turns into a regime, but
Wow, it must take a while too.
it can. But we've gotten better over the years, and also we have less people, arguing over the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good luck with that. I would
Well, maybe we can talk about what movies should be watched on a Friday night.
Well, that's a good question. Are you looking for recommendations from me?
I will take them unless they're terrible.
Well, no. How about this? I've been doing this for probably the last year or so, going back and watching movies that I saw originally in the theater and have kind of forgotten about.
Did those movies have audio?
Shut up. There's a movie. It stars Peter Sellers, and it's called Being There.
Being There.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's kind of an interesting movie because something is revealed in the very last few frames of the movie.
1979.
Yes.
Okay.
And it twists what you have seen for the previous roughly 90 minutes.
Okay.
So it would be interesting.
Keep in mind, there's a
Yes.
13 and a 15-year-old boy.
I understand that. I don't think it's really long.
Okay.
And it could be probably shorter, but Peter Sellers is an interesting guy, and it's an interesting story. And again, I can't emphasize enough, you're waiting for the last few frames, because when I rewatched it, I had totally forgotten how it ended.
Okay.
And when I saw
intrigued.
it, I'm like, oh my God.
I'm intrigued, Mark.
Yes.
It's 2 hours and 10 minutes, but just keep in mind.
Yes.
The next time I see you, if I watch this with my boys.
Yes.
And this
Great.
is a risky move. When you push a movie on Pizza Movie Night in the Anderson house, and
It's
the movie
serious.
is terrible.
Yeah.
You
There's hell to pay.
lose. I only have so much capital, Mark. I'm gonna have. You're asking me to spend my movie capital. It better be good.
Well,
you're a man of sophistication. So I mean that whole. You were waxing very eloquent on chocolate and shards and.
How about this?
So, yeah.
How about this? Well, don't maybe, if you're not interested, 2 hours is a long movie. You could do this with something that was in your knowledge area. Like, so maybe it was something you saw many years ago.
Oh, we've done this.
Oh, have you?
Oh, that's what it's part of what we do. It's like,
Okay.
and that's why I have some credibility, is because I know there's some good movies, that and they'll always, it's always a little bit of a fight at the beginning of the movie. Like, oh, Dad, this is stupid. This is going to be,
Right.
And then they watch it. It's like, that was great.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's
trust
good.
your dad.
So are there any that you can share? Like,
when I was a kid, like Gremlins, Goonies,
Okay.
movie. I mean, those are obvious, right? Obvious choices,
but not like Godfather or Too
I
Bloody.
don't know if we watch. No, I mean, we would. I would.
not real bloody.
No, I would watch. It's long.
You should. It is long.
Yeah, I mean, Godfather's good.
but it is high quality.
Yeah.
So you can't do better than those. Anyway, let's take a break. And what we're going to do is you might be wondering, well, what happened on this date, Mark? You always talk about all the weird and interesting things that have happened on this date. We'll do that in just a minute, but we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we'll do Rev's highlights, because they played a doubleheader yesterday, and you might be wondering what happened. We will have details. It was a historic day, actually, at the ballpark, and we'll explain about that. And then we'll delve into things that happened on this date. So Aaron Anderson, guest host here, The Gary Sutton Show. Mark McKenzie, I'm holding down the fort. No technical glitches so far. Keep your fingers crossed. Prayers are welcome. It is 6:19. Yes.
He swings, pops it up. Shallow right center, no man's land. It falls. It's a base hit. Dunn scores. Here comes Brown. Throw from right. He dives in. Bates to second. Safe there as the throw goes into center. And Austin Bates with a 2-run bloop single. The Revs lead it 4-0 here in the second inning. Is up first, new pitcher again, and he swings and hits one way up in the air and way deep in left. Decker is back, looking up at the big wall. It clears. It's out of here. Devontae Brown with his 4th home run of the year. A towering shot to left field and out into the neighborhood. And they lead it now 13-0 here in the 4th. Reagan's from the stretch, and Ross swings and drives one deep down the line in left field, right down the line and fair. It's a home run.
Bye-bye. Jackson
Ross with his 3rd of the year. And the Revs now lead it 2-0 here in the second inning. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a drive deep to left field. Line shot. Gone. It was high enough to clear the nemesis. And Brandon Lewis with his 9th home run of the year. Swings and launches one high in the air in left center field. Wagner is back. Nearing the wall. It is gone. Jackson Ross goes yard again. Skyscraping home run into the playground in left center. He's homered in both games of this doubleheader. Floater golfed into shallow center. It's down past a diving Briggs. Blackwell scores. Lewis at second. He's heading for third base. And an RBI triple, 10-0 here in the 3rd.
Yeah, the Revolution Bats were on fire yesterday, crushing Staten Island in Game 1, 17-4, and then beating them again in the closer, 8-5. The Revolution have won 4 games in a row. They will play. The series continues tonight here at the ballpark. Weather should be pretty good, and game time at 6:30, and of course we'll have the game here on the air at WOIK, and Daryl will do the duties around 6:15 is airtime. Here's the historic part. You might remember, Mark, you said something about historic. There was here yesterday at Wellspan Park, there was a crowd of 6,466. It was Education Day, and that is a record crowd for any home day game. Get this, in franchise history.
Record crowd.
Yes.
What was the number again?
6,486.
486.
Yes. So congratulations. Thanks for coming out. The weather, was not the greatest. I mean, it was kind of cold and windy, but everybody seemed to have a good time, especially when the Revs are winning. So good luck with another game tonight. Let's talk about May 15th, things that happened on this date. 1602. English navigator Bartholomew Gosnold is...
Say that again.
Yeah, really. He's puttering around. He's in a boat, and he discovers Cape Cod.
Oh.
Well, wait, what? He probably ran into Cape Cod. That's probably what happened. I don't know if you discovered, look over there. Anyway, on this date, 1618, German astronomer Johann Kepler, very big name in astronomy.
Yes,
he discovered the 3rd of his 3 planetary laws. You know which one it was?
No, I do not.
Yeah,
Mark.
me neither.
Yeah.
In 1800, I thought this was an interesting, because President Trump, there have been some attempts on his life, and you might wonder, like, historically, how does this figure out? In 1800, King George III survived a second assassination attempt. And on this date in 1817, the first private mental health hospital opened in the U.S. Where? Philadelphia, PA. Another first for PA. On this date in 1841, first emigrant wagon train to reach California leaves Independence, Missouri. A 1,700-mile journey over the Sierra Nevada. So whenever you see those Westerns with the wagons going, this date was the first one.
That's it. Can you imagine?
Yes.
That trip
No.
a wagon that many miles?
How many miles could they do a day?
Oh my gosh!
Maybe
every time
10?
I thought about that, bumpy,
Yes. Oh,
bumpy,
no shocks.
long. Yeah.
On this date, 1905, Las Vegas was founded in Nevada. It says in this particular source that on this date, 1928, Mickey Mouse made his first appearance in a silent film. So he wasn't talking like this just yet. I was playing
silent. Well, we were talking about silent films earlier.
Yes.
Or I referenced.
Yeah,
them.
yeah, you did. Thanks.
Shut up.
1941 on this date, Yankees Joe DiMaggio began his 56-game hitting streak, yet to be broken. 1951 on this date, AT&T became the first U.S. corporation to have 1 million stockholders after a young car salesman bought 7 shares. Crazy. 1957, evangelist Billy Graham launched his crusade. Remember, he did those for several years. This one,
yes.
very first one in Madison Square Garden.
Billy Graham. Mark, I have
Yes.
a good Billy Graham story.
Sure.
When I was in college, I actually went to college with Billy Graham's grandsons.
No kidding.
I did, and I was invited to go to their ranch, to Billy's ranch,
Wow.
one weekend, and we were going to go stay with their grandfather, and lo and behold, I had a date with a pretty girl, and I chose to go on a date with the pretty girl and did not go to Billy Graham's ranch.
Wow.
So my wife, who is the pretty girl, so I
No
constantly remind her, I'm like, I had a chance to go hang out at Billy Graham's ranch.
I chose you.
In Western North Carolina, and I chose you.
Isn't that great?
Isn't that all?
That is.
something?
That's a good story.
Yeah. Well.
On this date, speaking of love, 1967, Paul McCartney met his future wife, Linda Eastman. And of course, she died of cancer in the 70s. In 1973, California Angel ace Nolan Ryan pitched his first no-hitter.
What a stud he was.
Oh, my goodness.
Man, right?
At least 7 that I
Oh, my
remember,
gosh.
maybe more.
Yeah.
On this date, speaking of baseball, 2019, baseball pitcher Edwin Jackson takes the mound for the Toronto Blue Jays. He earned no decision, but here's why it was interesting. It was his record-setting 14th Major League Baseball team. This guy,
Wow.
good enough to be on the teams, but not good enough to stay anywhere. And lastly, on this date, also 2019, York County native Jeff Koons, his rabbit sculpture sells for $9.1 million, and that set a new record for a work by a living artist at auction. The buyer later identified as Mets owner Steve Cohen.
Yeah.
So
That's
Yorker makes good.
you get $9 million.
$9 million.
Yeah.
And it's got to be worth more now. So stick around, because what do we have coming up? We have birthdays on the way in the next half hour. But up next after news, Ted Scheck, information officer for York County, has got an article, and we'll hear more about what
We're going to hear more.
Yes, without a doubt. So stick around. Aaron Anderson, guest hosting the Gary Sutton Show on a Friday morning at 6:31. Well, here it is. It's just the two of us, Mark McKenzie and Aaron Anderson, the Gary Sutton Show for a Friday. In case you missed it, Gary came through with flying colors yesterday at his procedure, and he should be back as long as he continues to progress. Should be back on Monday. So thank you for any prayers that you might have said.
Well, we're saying prayers, but you now you got me questioning.
What?
Over the break, you said there was a golf major event happening in Pennsylvania.
What do you mean?
Well, that Gary Sutton is really into golf. Are we certain? Is the procedure he had a trip to?
Are you claiming it is all a ruse?
That would go against the character that I know Gary Sutton has, but he does love his golf.
Yes, but now you do make a good point, though.
You got to have some skeptics in the world.
Well, here's one sure way. We'll have to watch and see if he has any PGA Championship gear.
Yeah, let's see. Did you pay attention to the tone of his skin before?
Oh no, he has. He plays a lot of golf. So, but he wears a lot of long sleeve stuff and hats. So he's not likely to be not as tanned as you.
Well, I'm not tanned. I am eager to get to the beach and get out in the sun.
Excellent.
Yeah, but that's let's see.
Let's see. See my.
See, you've got you've got a sock line over there.
I do.
You do.
And it's only May. Anyway, let's talk about the media. Let's talk about information as it is disseminated to Americans. Actually, I guess to everybody in the world now that you think about it.
Yes.
But normally, Ted Check is here. Well, he is here.
Well,
actually.
He is here. He's with us.
He's the information officer for York County. And Aaron, he's got an article. So take it away. Find out more about what this is.
Hey, Ted. Good morning.
Hey, Aaron.
How you doing?
How you doing? Good. Great, man.
Well, listen. You got stuck having to talk to me. I'm sorry. It is a Friday.
Oh, the horror.
The horror. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun with this. Hey, Gary shared with me the article, which was the speaker, a graduation speaker who sort of praised AI during her speech. She got booed resoundingly by these college graduates. So what's going on with this? What's your reaction? What's your take?
Right. So this is a classic case of read the room, she didn't read the room because these students, it's my understanding, were communications and media graduates.
Right.
So to talk about artificial intelligence being the next industrial revolution, that's basically saying, hey, guess what? I'm advocating for something that could possibly take all of your jobs.
Right.
All of your prospective jobs.
Right. So one of the basics, like 101s of speaking to any crowd, right, Ted, is know your audience.
Exactly. Yeah. So this happened at the University of Central Florida at the commencement, and this woman is a real estate mogul in Florida, and so it reminded me of just recently when I was on a panel at Shippensburg University, speaking to or in front of a similar crowd, communications and media majors, and there was at one point there was a show of hands of hey, who's a big fan of AI, and I don't know if there was one hand that was raised.
Yeah, right.
In the crowd. So yeah, I mean, there are a lot of advantages to AI, but I really struggle to find an application in the communications and media realm.
Well, that's an interesting thought. Yeah, you struggle to find an application in the media. Who disagrees with you on that, Ted?
Who disagrees with me on that? I would say.
I mean, who would dare disagree with Ted Check?
Well,
but
No. I would say it's the people at the top of these media corporations, media outlets, because they're looking to save money any way they can. But that can end in disaster. We've seen that it was a few years ago. Sports Illustrated, they farmed out the writing of a bunch of articles to some obscure company, who then turned around and said, "Well, we're gonna use AI to generate these stories." So they had fake authors writing fake stories, and it all came to light and really tarnished the brand of Sports Illustrated.
Yeah. So Ted, do you know right now, I mean, I remember hearing some time ago that a number of like the regular articles that you're reading are being written by AI. Do you have any data on like, is that accurate? Is that, I'm sure it's being used. I mean, for all the reasons you just suggested, but what's the current data say?
Well, I don't have any. I just have anecdotal evidence. What I've read, and yeah, there have been. Well, there was rumblings that the Washington Post was going to use it, but I'm not sure if they actually went forward with that. But another major media outlet went public with it and said, "Hey, we're going to use it. However, to generate stories. However, we're always going to have a pair of human eyes on it as well before it goes live."
So that's an important topic being talked about in a lot of realms, in a lot of my realms, which is education and church. I think I just saw an article that said, 64% of pastors are using AI somehow in writing their sermons, which is an interesting thought, right? 64% mark. And that doesn't mean they're using it all. We could talk about that. And when it comes to journalism, like what is a good and helpful application of AI in journalism if you were using it?
Well, I think in conducting searches, where you can pose a question to it, and it will, scan, the internet, which we know has no end. It's just so vast. It'll scan the internet and it'll give you, the top 10 or the most common or whatever. So I think it saves time in that sense of where you don't have to pick through things and maybe the thing that you're looking for is on the third page or whatever. So I think in that sense, it can be good.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that I don't think it should be used, obviously, for the production of like what you're going to pass off as being original content. Mm-hmm. So like from a speaking standpoint, I write my own sermons. Now I will say one of the things that's interesting to do is to drop it in AI and say, is this clear? Is this compelling? Which it will give you and what you decide to do with it is a whole nother. But the analysis there, I have found times like when it would say, well, you make an interesting point here, but it lacks a human connection. I'm like, well, that's interesting. So from an analysis standpoint, I might put in there, how would you reach Mark McKenzie, and convince that guy to get it back on the straight and narrow, right? He says impossible.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's not possible.
Impossible. I mean, so the reality is it's here, right, Ted? And I think it is interesting that the woman who spoke at the college in front of a group of communications and media grads, chose to praise AI. Maybe she should have used AI to ask, like, what things should I not say in front of a group of common media grads? What do you think?
Right. No, that would be an application of it, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing is the big debate now seems to be, can it think on its own? Will it develop consciousness? Some people, some things that I've read say, well, it's already happened. Or we caught it thinking on its own, things like that. So I think that's kind of the next iteration, the next concern is that because, we've all seen 2001: A Space Odyssey, so we know what happens when a computer starts thinking on its own.
Right.
Have you done a graduation ceremony?
Yeah. Ted, have you ever spoken at a graduation ceremony yourself?
No, I would love to, but no one's asked.
Mark's asking me. Well, oversee graduation ceremonies every year, and so I'm usually introducing speakers. I think it is a fascinating topic. What are the uses and limitations? So every organization that I work at now, we're talking about this in terms of what are the limits, because anyone who's communicating with your clients, with your customers, if they're using AI, and people now I see it. I don't know about you. People are using it to write content, and to me, it's very obvious. I see it on resumes, I see it online on social media, and I think people feel like they're passing off something that's original. But I'm like, I know what you sounded like before, and now all of a sudden your writing suddenly got a lot better. And also, another tell for me is like, what an M dash, the long dash.
Yes, I do.
It's a tell. I mean, it's a tell. If you send me something with a bunch of M dashes, I'm like, you use AI to write that.
But Aaron, here's the thing. I was a journalist for 25 years. The M dash is one of the great tools that we as journalists use. So just because somebody's using M dashes doesn't mean necessarily that they've used AI.
True.
It could be that they have a background in journalism.
Okay, so I will my journalist friends I will give a pass to, Ted, only because the great Ted Check warned me against Pat. But the rest of us,
I understand what you're saying, though, and I see that a lot, especially on LinkedIn, and that is people are talking about that and they're saying, that's a tell, and I think it can be in some cases, but not necessarily in all.
So I think it's a good topic. I think it's worth exploring. What are the boundaries? What are the right uses of AI? And thank you, Ted, for expanding our minds this Friday morning and getting us to think about that. I'm going to go ask AI in just a minute what it actually thought about our talk, and we'll circle back around on that.
Yeah, please, and then send that to me, because I would be curious.
I'm going to with a bunch of M dashes in it, and you can criticize me, but I can't criticize you, Ted.
No, and I'll give it back. I'll give you my criticism of that.
There you go.
I love it. Well, thanks, Ted, for being with us.
We're always
all right, Aaron. Yeah, great talking with you.
Have a great Friday.
Here's the thing, though. While you were having that conversation, Gary posted a picture of you hosting the show. Wait a second. Where is it? There it is.
Looking way more.
Yes, you really look nice in that picture.
Yes, yeah. That is. That's actually an outfit I have. So clearly, he used
an old picture or a picture.
Oh, you mean old picture, Mark McKenzie? Old picture. Nonsense.
Well, he doesn't. The guy in this cartoon doesn't look 50.
I think he does. I mean, handsome, but mind you.
Is that right?
Maybe a little improved. Did Gary draw this with his own hand?
No. See,
speaking of AI,
he has used. I don't know if it's Chat GPT or not.
Is he using? Well, I use Gemini. I have a lot of fun. That's one of the things I do with AI is create ridiculous images.
See, that's me. Look at me.
Look at you. See, man, you guys look. You are really dapper.
Yes,
over there.
There's no way. Well, and he took that from the news conference that we did right before our first show.
Okay.
So.
Yes, I was there.
Yeah, you were there.
I should have run my picture with Gary through that same.
Yes, you should. Filter. And then you should send it back to him. Say, here, use this
in AI.
We did talk a lot about AI yesterday. Had a very interesting conversation between Joel Sears and Jamie Norpel.
Oh, and were they on the same page?
Well, here's the problem. There are lots of warning signs or potential warning signs, but nobody seems to be really doing much about it. Congress has tried talking about it, but they agree on so little. I don't know. I don't think they've really tried to write a law that would, take some sort of control or mete out some accountability if things go wrong. The tired old, Terminator, where Skynet, the computers take over, is that's something in the movies, but could it happen here? And would it matter after a while? If everybody's depending on this, if business is depending on it, more and more are. What's going to happen if you try to, I don't know, shut it down? But
well, it's I do think a legitimate concern is that when it's independently running systems that are not human controlled, that's where I've seen some actual concern.
Right.
I know weapon systems, things like that are not being theoretically they're not being run or controlled by that.
There was some reporting that maybe some of the targets used when the United States attacked Iran, that some of them were used perhaps with a targeting capability where they looked at a list of potential targets. And I don't know if that was confirmed or not. But anyway, it is 9 minutes before 7 o'clock, and we have to get to birthdays. Let's do that next as Aaron Anderson hosts the Gary Sutton Show for Friday morning. All right, Aaron, I know you're only 50 years old, but
Only 50.
Can you tell me the name of this song?
The child of God, he was walking
No, I cannot, Mark.
This is Woodstock.
Okay. Well, what hold on. What year was Woodstock?
69.
So you want me to give you...
Well, it's history.
Okay, history.
Anyway,
I
the
accept.
reason I'm playing Woodstock is because it's Wavy Gravy's 90th birthday. You might say, who's Wavy Gravy?
Who's Wavy Gravy?
Is this counterculture icon, and the only thing I could think of was, I didn't even know if he was at Woodstock, but
Wavy Gravy.
Wavy Gravy And that just shows you. Well, I needed something that had music along with it, so that's why it shows
wavy
gravy. And you'll see when I do the other birthdays. Andy Murray, tennis star, or used to be, 39 years old. Ray Lewis of the Ravens, Hall of Famer, I believe, 51. Emmitt Smith is 57 today. Another sports star, but in baseball, George Brett is 73.
The great George Brett. He was fun to watch.
Chaz Palminteri.
That name?
Do you know that actor?
I don't know the name.
Yeah, he had The Bronx Tale. I think he was the star of that movie. I think he wrote it as well. Chaz Palminteri always looked like a mafia tough.
Okay.
He's 74 today. Sports talk show host Dan Patrick is 70 years old today.
Ooh, all right.
Yes, and I have one more birthday, and it's from a Netflix show, although she was in a couple of other things. But have you ever watched Virgin River?
I have not.
Virgin River was one of these shows that they kind of threw together. It was very much like a Hallmark Channel kind of thing.
Okay.
And then it just kind of took off. And I don't know if it was because of a lot of TV shows that streamed did well during COVID. I don't know. It might have had something to do with it. But they ended up signing a couple of more seasons. They just finished the 7th season. And Mel, the female lead on that show, is played by Alexandra Breckenridge, and she is 44 today. So,
I have not seen the show. I do not know the actress.
Yeah, if you like Hallmark Channel stuff,
Mark,
it's very similar.
Mark, do I look? When you look at me, do you think?
I know. No,
that's
I don't.
A guy who loves Hallmark.
No, I look at me and I say, this guy might.
No, I don't look at you and think that. No.
Gary loves he used to. I don't know that he does anymore.
We will have to talk to Gary about that.
Let's talk about the NFL again. Just holding down its dominance of the sports information. They went from the Super Bowl, then they went to the Combine, they had free agency, they had the draft last month, and last night, another big event for the league is the release of the schedule.
Season opens with a Super Bowl rematch.
Oh,
the defending champion Seattle Seahawks hosting
it's too low, and you know why? Because I forgot to raise it. So let's see if I can do that real quick.
Let's see if you can get that straightened out, because this is actually something I might be able to contribute an opinion.
Well, that's exactly why I.
Thank you.
That's why.
Thank you, Mark.
That's why.
You got to put the fruit low.
Yes, that's why I chose it. All right, here we go.
The season opens with a Super Bowl rematch. The defending champion Seattle Seahawks hosting the New England Patriots on Wednesday, September 9th. As for holidays, Thanksgiving starts with the Bears visiting the Lions, followed by the Eagles at Cowboys, and then at night, the Chiefs in Buffalo. Now, the Bills and Bears players might actually need to sit their families down for a talk. Those teams are actually playing on both Thanksgiving and Christmas. All 3 Christmas games are 2025 playoff rematches. The Bears will play the Packers, while the Bills will be in Denver to play the Broncos, and the LA Rams visit Seattle. Meanwhile, the annual Black Friday game will be the Broncos visiting the Steelers, and we're going to have a New Year's Eve game, the Ravens at the Bengals. Greg Thompson, Fox News.
And of course, I think there were 9 different international games.
Well, you met the Bears.
Yes.
Right? I'm a Chicago Bears fan. Right?
I've heard.
Yeah. So that's going to be pretty exciting, Thanksgiving and Christmas. What am I going to do with myself?
What are you going to do?
It's going to be great, is what it's going to be.
Are your kids Bears fans?
Last year, I bought jerseys for kids. Yeah,
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's going to be. We're going to have a lot of fun with that.
Well, the Patriots beginning the season probably going to lose that game. Although we did get the offensive lineman, which is what we were sorely missing in the Super Bowl.
You did? Okay.
So what do we have here for next hour? We have Kevin Smith live from Florida, from K20.
We're going to talk K20.
Yes,
I hope he's ready.
I think he is. He was. He had to fly down yesterday, and I think it's all going to work out. And then we also have Dr. Gracia Etienne talking about York TMS Clinic, and we're going to do that next hour as well. Looking ahead, Jim McClure, York historian, in the 8 o'clock hour, and Dennis Owens from ABC 27 News, and of course, Dr. Nick Pandelitis as well. It's all ahead. The Gary Sutton Show for a Friday with guest host Aaron Anderson.
This is York's only local show on York's only local station. This is the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK.
Listen to your show every day. It's really good.
I have you guys on every morning to wake up to.
Gary Sutton, mornings 6 to 9 on Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOYK.
All the things you're talking about are all things we're talking about. It's Main Street America every day.
And you're getting your money's worth.
You're a brilliant mind, tremendous experience. You're great for the community.
The Gary Sutton Show on York's first station, WOYK.
I can tell you I don't have money, but what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career.
Now, broadcasting live from WOYK's downtown York studios inside Wellspan Park, here's Gary Sutton.
Friday morning. It's Aaron Anderson sitting in with the ever trustworthy, ever reliable, super sophisticated Mark McKenzie.
Over 50.
Working the magic. Well, we talked about your age last time. I can't remember what the number is,
It doesn't
but it's
matter.
not 50.
It doesn't matter. I was
slightly over 50.
Talking to my girlfriend's grandson last night, and he said, "So how old are you?" So I told him how old, and he looked at me with this face, and I tried not to laugh because he was trying to be serious. And kids, they don't know how old anything is.
Yeah, I mean, right when I was younger, 50 just sounded so ancient.
Right. And everything's in,
perspective.
It does. It changes with time, especially. I mean, I don't feel any different, and I bet you don't either.
I do not.
Right. So
I do not. I think in cheese and wine analogies about age.
Oh, really?
They just get better.
Oh, there you go.
Right?
I like that.
At least that's something to tell myself.
Now, before we get to our main guest at the moment, Kevin Smith with Kindness Worldwide, actually in Florida at the K20, which started, well, he went to it yesterday. But before we do that, let's pay the piper, so to speak.
Okay.
Our presenting sponsors of the Gary Sutton Show are Kindness Worldwide and Anstein and Sparler, attorneys at law. Kindness Worldwide, where you can find them right now. Do one act of kindness today and change your world. Kindness Worldwide is ready to help you with that today. And then also, Anstein and Sparler, attorneys at law, located at 117 East Market Street here in York. They are ready to help you with all of your law needs. 717-846-8811 is their number, open Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 5. We are the proud sponsors here of the Gary Sutton Show with Anstein and Sparler, attorneys at law, and kindnessworldwide.org.
So it is a Friday morning. In case you missed it, Gary had a very successful operation yesterday, a surgical procedure, and he is at home resting comfortably and anticipates being here on Monday. So glad that all worked out. And Aaron is sitting in today, and your opportunity, because you hosted was it the world premiere?
Oh, I think it was the premiere. I guess it was the world premiere.
Yeah, so...
Kevin will have to tell us.
And that kind of just has blossomed into this whole nother area. Each segment that Kevin explores with this one experience, as he takes, another step down the road, it opens up all kinds of avenues. And the latest one is in Florida at K20. So, Aaron, let's find out more about that.
Well, let's do find out more. Kevin, let's just bring him in before I start harassing him. I need to get him on the phone here. Kevin, how you doing, buddy?
I'm still trying to catch up on sleep and caffeine, but I'm doing good, my friend. How's everything back in New York?
Well, we're here. You're there. Can you tell me what's the weather like down in? Where are you in Florida right now?
Well, I'm at Fort Myers, Florida. We're here for the K20, which is being hosted at Florida Gulf Coast University. It's nice, sunny, warm, 90 degrees here. Not sure what it is back home, but it definitely feels like summer in Florida.
Well, it's most definitely not 90 degrees right now. It's a balmy 48 as we're sitting here. So I'm trying to show you as much kindness right now, but we're a little jealous. You're there in Florida, just living it up, living the dream, out at the K20 summit. Yeah, so tell us, Kevin,
home is where your heart is, and for me, that will always be York County, Pennsylvania.
Well, your body, though, is in 90-degree weather right now.
Yes,
so,
it is. Although technically, I'm actually in a very corner confines of a business center in the lobby of the Drury Hotel. So my view is not exactly spectacular at the moment, but, it is what it is.
I know, travel sometimes can be a little, especially business travel, can be a little overrated when you are in these great places, but you don't, you ever get to go out and explore. So will you get a little time out in the sun? Are you going to get out and go for a walk or go to the beach? Are you going to get any time to do that?
It's not that kind of trip. This is going to be all kindness, all business, all the time. We got a jam-packed few days, starting here in about an hour or so. I'm on a number of panel discussions, and tomorrow night we're doing an evening and dinner of narrative storytelling. Kindness Worldwide Ambassador Peter Samuelson flew in from L.A., and he's going to be speaking, and then we'll be showing the trailer for the film For Such a Time as This, and actually a screening of another wonderful film called The Power of Small. And then we'll be doing a Q&A afterwards, which I'm part of. But it's just it's been a great trip so far. We had a wonderful meeting yesterday with the 20. In fact, I got a text right in the middle of our first meeting with the group from Gary informing me that his surgery went well. Was so happy to hear that, and actually sent Gary a nice little gift from the group. I went around the room, and each of the members just wished Gary well, and we're very grateful that his surgery went well, and we tried to lift Gary's spirits. So all in the spirit of kindness, but it's been a great trip so far.
Well, that's great. Well, we're still. I'm sowing a little suspicion here that Gary may be over at a golf major. He like air quotes surgery, but watching the majors right now. So. We're gonna take him at his word. That would be the kind thing to do, and maybe
nothing's going to keep Gary down long. I know he's back in the studio. Although you are a very worthy replacement, I must say. Gary's got his work cut out for him.
Service. You've heard the word serviceable, right?
Yeah. Servant leadership. There you are.
No, not servant. I said serviceable. Meaning, serviceable. Meaning like barely will stand in. Yeah, I'm looking at your speakers there. I've read Brian McLaren before. He's a guy that I've heard of there. So it looks like you're going to have a great time there. Maybe you should show yourself a little kindness and skip a session and go walk on the beach.
Well, we had a great view. We had a reception at the President's Home. Great view of the water last evening, and I might try to practice some self-kindness and have a nice leisurely stroll if I can. But it's going to be a jam-packed couple of days, and I've got some meetings lined up on the side. We're actually talking about doing a screening of the film here on campus, coming back to Florida for that, and actually having Fort Myers potentially be our very first Kindness Week Worldwide community in Florida. The first are always very significant, and what better place than to have that at the host community of the K-20 itself. So a lot of good things are coming in so many ways.
And you said your film, are you doing a full screening, or is it just a partial screening of the film there?
Well, tomorrow night, we're just going to be showing the trailer of the film, and I'll be saying a few words and on a Q&A panel discussion afterwards. But we're looking to actually come back and show the film at a private screening at some point to be determined. The film is 80 minutes. We've done some edits since the first screening in New York in November. It's doing really well in the film festival circuit. It's up to 9 laurels. The film was actually named Best Inspirational Film at the International Film Festival in Melbourne, Australia, and also named Best Documentary Film at the Indianapolis International Film Festival. Of course, I was in Orlando last week. It was nominated for Best Inspirational Film at the International Christian Film and Music Festival. So the film's really resonating. It's not available for public audiences yet. We're looking to get a distribution deal, which we think will be coming at some point down the road. But in the interim, we're doing as many private screenings in as many communities as we can. You've seen the film, obviously. The more people who see this film, I know the more lives are touched and people's hearts are changed. And more importantly, even lives can be changed. It's very powerful with some of the content in the film. So we're just getting it out there anywhere and everywhere that we can.
Well, and you said at this point you guys have gone back and done an edit. You say 80 minutes is now. That was trying to remember
much more streamlined.
What was the original length?
The original was 111 minutes. And, a very powerful 111 minutes. But when you get it into the creatives and the film festival circuit, especially in this day and age where attention spans are more limited, we felt it was necessary. Some of the feedback we got was to streamline it a bit more. So we get to the meat of it, much more quickly. As you know, there's some very powerful scenes in the film, and so we start with obviously the Lost Wallet story and kind of the ripple effects, leading up to obviously when this young woman, Brooke Dubs, was publicly recognized at Wellspan Park, where we launched Kindness Worldwide in November. And then from there, the film takes us to Palermo, Italy, where I gave the keynote address at the General Assembly of the World Kindness Movement. And then it kind of covers what happened afterwards. And then it gets real quick with some powerful content. But we wanted to get to the meat of the story much more quickly, keep the audience engaged and kind of at the edge of their seats, so to speak. And with 80 minutes, I think we kind of hit the sweet spot, so to speak.
Well, they say a wise old elder told me years ago. Said in writing sermons, he said it's not what you say in the sermon that matters. It's what you don't say. He said editing your sermons is really critical. It's the hardest work I think you do whenever you produce something is the work of editing, to get it down to that kernel that'll really connect with people.
You're absolutely right. Well, there's something to be said for the adage, less is more. And, of course, this is very personal. As you know, this has been a surreal journey in so many ways. And, all the content, it showcases my home community of York, Pennsylvania in a very favorable light. New York is the epicenter of this movement. And, to cut out anything, when it's so personal, is difficult. But the ultimate goal, we always focus on what is the goal. The goal of this film to resonate with the audience, to really touch lives, change lives, save lives. And the more audiences who see the film, who want to see the film, the more this movement will advance and impact more lives. And so that was always the aim. And, we had to make some decisions to really pare back some content, but it was always with that aim in mind. How do we keep the audience engaged? Because people want to see this film and create more impact, not just locally, but nationally and globally as well.
Well, that's wonderful. One more act of kindness while you're in Florida. Get your hands on a golf club. Just go stand on a golf course and get yourself a picture and send it to Gary, and say "Wish you were here." And we're still researching if his procedure is a real thing or if he's at the majors.
Well, I will tell you, Aaron, that golf clubs and me don't mix very well, and it's not very kind to the groundhogs on the golf course who really have to duck because all my balls usually hit the ground before they get in the air. So I don't think a golf course is in my future, but hopefully very soon for Gary.
We can hope.
Yes.
Well, Kevin, thanks for taking the time. Enjoy your time there. We look forward to seeing you back in York.
Yeah, be well.
Looking forward to my best to everyone in New York. Looking forward to getting back home. And look, everyone is talking about York County
Safe
on the global
travels.
stage right here at the K20 in Florida. So my best wishes to all.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right. That was interesting conversation. He is, he's doing things that he had never planned on doing. And that's a lesson in and of itself.
So are you saying that if I just plan on, I don't have any plans right now to be in Hawaii, Mark, or I don't have plans to go to the Caribbean right now?
It's just that, we like our little bubbles, and I'm sure, Kevin did too. And then the stuff started to happen to him that, he had no intention of these things happening to him, but then the next thing you know, it's created a life of its own. So I think that's kind of.
I don't have any plans right now to have a European vacation.
Okay.
Is this the way that this would work, Mark?
Well, here's the thing. You were talking about a golf club, and he didn't want to go because he's not very good. See,
that's how do you get good at golf?
He's being I disagree. I've been playing for a while, and a lot of people have been playing a while, and they don't get it any better. They asked on an Instagram video, they asked a lot of the pros playing at the PGA Championship in Newtown Square, Pennsylvania this weekend, and they said, "Well, so what's a score that average golfer could have that you would consider them good. And I would say that most of them said around 85.
85. Good
Yes.
heavens.
And Gary shoots a good 5 strokes below that. I don't know. I forget what his handicap is, but he generally shoots in the 70s, generally.
Yeah.
So yesterday, as luck would have it, speaking of golf, I went golfing last Saturday. I think it was last Saturday.
Okay.
And again, I'm not very good. And it was an okay day until the last 2 holes. And the last 2 holes, all of a sudden, I couldn't hit a drive. I could not hit a hybrid or a driver. I could hit the irons, I could putt, but I couldn't hit the other 2. So the last 2 holes, I had a 9 and an 8. So I would have been in the 90s.
That's like my style golfing.
Yes. And now, so I finish and I'm over 100. And that's from the old man tees. So I'm seriously considering stopping golf.
No, you cannot.
No. Yes, I can.
No.
For mental health purposes.
Well, you got to go see. Like now, when I go on the golf course, I know I'm not a good golfer.
Yeah, but see, that's not the thing. I mean, most people they're gonna. They never learn. They never learn. And to prove it to you, I went to the driving range yesterday just to kill some time. And Aaron, I hit some of the best irons I have ever hit in my life.
Okay.
I could not believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, soaring, huge.
So just use your irons. You know, get ready your driver.
It sucked me back in. I can't wait to go again.
See, just go have fun.
Lord have mercy.
Just go,
on me.
yes, just go have fun.
Is that right?
Enjoy yourself.
Well, we've got Fox Sports update right around the corner. Aaron Anderson in for the. I was going to almost said vacationing. He's not vacationing.
Vacationing.
He's
It's a
not.
kind of vacation.
I'm going to tell you, if he, I think doctor's orders, he couldn't play golf for a week. So
what is Gary Sutton going to do?
That's going to be torture. That is definitely going to be torture for him. But, for better health, I think he can do it.
I hope so.
It is 7:21 at WOYK, The Gary Sutton Show.
Fox Sports Update.
No Ohtani, no problem.
Call sprays it to right field, sinking fast. It's down for a hit. Muncy is in. Hernandez behind him. He's safe, and the Dodgers are back in front.
Alex Call delivering for the World Series champion Dodgers, breaking a 2-2 tie in the 6th inning on Sportsnet LA. The Dodgers go on to beat the San Francisco Giants 5-2, playing without the world's greatest baseball player, Shohei Ohtani. Younghoe Lee with a 2-run home run, an inside-the-park job for San Fran. Elsewhere, the Chicago White Sox, they have now won 5 in a row after beating the Royals 6-2. The Cubs shut out the Braves 2-0. The Mets, they slugged 5 home runs en route to their first series sweep of the season, 9-4 over the Tigers. Other winners on the baseball diamond, the Pirates, Reds, Twins, Brewers, Mariners, Cardinals, and the Phillies. On the ice in the NHL, Mitch Marner with one of the sickest goals you'll ever see between the legs to give the Vegas Golden Knights a 1-0 lead.
Anaheim attempting to keep it deep, broken up by William Karlsson. He springs a man, Mitch Marner, who's in, and he stuffs it home. Mitchell Marner gets a stretch pass from Wild Bill.
That's hockey, baby. You got to love it when you have a hockey player called Wild Bill. The call on TNT, the Knights go on to beat the Ducks in Game 6 to close out that series. Marner now has 7 goals this postseason. Vegas will face the high-powered Colorado Avalanche in the Western Conference Finals. In the other playoff game, the Canadiens with 4 unanswered goals after trailing 3 times. The Habs go on to beat the Sabres 6-3. They can close out the series tomorrow night at home. And second-round action at the PGA Championship tees off this morning. 7 golfers sit atop the leaderboard, including Scotty Scheffler. I'm Frank Lanza.
Get more on the Fox Sports app and foxsports.com.
It is almost 7:28, the Gary Sutton Show for Friday morning. Aaron Anderson is the guest host today. And let me just tell you, there is a TV show coming on this weekend. Did you ever watch Yellowstone?
Yes. Mark, anytime you and I can find, you just have this random music.
Yes.
Your movies. But
yes.
Look, we landed on something. Yes, I have seen that.
All right. Did you have an opinion about...
I enjoyed it.
Did you?
I enjoyed it, yeah.
It seemed like a ridiculous show.
I mean, it is ridiculous. It's also violent and other things.
It doesn't make any sense.
I probably have to qualify a lot of things.
Yeah, they're protecting American values by murder and mayhem and that kind of thing. So the show had to end. Rumor has it that it was maybe... Kevin Costner and the show's creator didn't get along, or they couldn't afford him, or whatever. But they did a what do they call a spin-off?
I know that. Yes. I feel like there have been a lot of spin-offs.
There have, because they're trying to capture, the same lightning. And I don't know, Costner, for what it's worth, does have a certain amount of panache. But I think this show has a chance to succeed. The problem is it's been a long time since the last time Yellowstone was on. But if you had to pick the other two, other than Costner, the other 2 characters in that show that were, the most that fans really liked, who do you think that was?
Well, I think his daughter.
Yes, Beth.
Yeah, Beth, right. Her character was.
Yes,
was
that's right. That's one. And who was the other one?
Well, I'd say one of his sons. Probably the son. Which
Casey?
Yes.
Yeah. No.
I was going to say the one with a cowboy hat, but it's a Western show.
Yeah, they all wear it. That's true. It's Beth and her husband, Rip.
Oh, yeah. He was an interesting character.
So check this out.
Dutton Ranch lands on Paramount Plus. The Yellowstone spinoff continues the story of Beth Dutton, daughter of late patriarch John Dutton, played by Kevin Costner in the series, and her husband Rip Wheeler, as they start a new life in South Texas with their Ward Carter. The series focuses on the family operating a 7,000-acre ranch while facing new high-stakes challenges in the harsh Texas landscape and ruthless new neighbors.
A legacy is a beautiful thing. but only if it survives.
The series stars Kelly Riley, Cole Hauser, Finn Little as Carter, and Annette Bening, starring his neighbor, Beulah Jackson. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
I promise you I will watch it and I will count the dead bodies.
Well, if you'll watch it, just get me started, because that literally sounds like the same show.
It's exactly the same show. Yes, it's a different a woman matriarch who's going to be the bad guy.
I mean, she was a major part of that show anyway.
Yes.
It's like most of the violence that happened was somehow connected to her.
A damaged person, and Rip was too.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not feeling it, Mark.
Yes, I mean, I want to say The Godfather had more family values.
No, that might actually be accurate. I try to be very careful. When people ask me, what do you think about a show? I'm like, do you recommend? I'm not recommending the show.
Right. Okay. Well, hey, stick around, because after we get a check of news, Dr. Gracia Etienne is going to be checking in, and we'll find out about the latest from the TMS clinic. If you're having problems with that you might describe in the mental health area, he has a possible solution, and we'll get to details about that coming up. Right now, though, check of news. It is almost 7:32 at WOYK.
tonight. If you think that it ain't feeling right, But darling, there ain't no getting over me.
So we're doing bumper music from 1981, and that was a year that it was tailing off for a country crossover. Every once in a while, country becomes big and it crosses over into the top 40 kind of thing, and it did at the end, or in 1980, and it was just tailing off in 81, and it came from, what was that John Travolta movie where they were cowboy line dancing in bars, and I can't remember all of a sudden the name of that movie, but it spawned a bunch of
cowboy line dancing movie. John Travolta.
Do you remember?
What year was this? Early
1980.
80s?
Yeah.
Remember
79?
Mark. Remember, I was like 3 or 4 years old.
Shut up.
When this was happening.
Oh, use AI.
I can't. Ted Check has ruined me.
Is that right?
No, I can't.
Anyway,
I won't touch it.
It doesn't. Urban Cowboy. See, I pulled it up on my own.
See,
using my own brain,
using your own power.
Yeah,
you got it.
Yes.
The AI in your brain.
Yeah. By the way, the PGA Championship happening at. It's hard to say. Aronimink Golf Course in Newtown Square, just outside of Philly. 7 players are 3 under par. They're all tied for the lead. And it looks like, I don't know if you've seen some of the video, they had a hole-in-one yesterday. Michael Block had a hole-in-one. Yeah. And I guess the biggest surprise, maybe, is Bryson DeChambeau. He couldn't keep it on the green. And because these greens are so, and Gary warned me when we talked about it earlier in the week when he was here, he was saying that the greens at this place are like ice. If you don't hit it just right, it ain't going in. And
that's my golf game.
Yeah, really.
Can't keep it on the green. They just basically described my golf game.
They had one where one video I saw on Instagram where Bryson DeChambeau, he hit it, he missed the hole by like 3 inches, and then it just kept going. And then when he got on the other side, he hit it, and it went the other way on the.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, some days you have that. Not usually, though. Someone who's won as many majors as he has. Anyway, and I don't know what time they get started this morning.
Mark, have you ever had a hole-in-one?
Never.
No, I think Gary has had a hole-in-one.
Oh, yes. I think I want to say maybe 2.
A couple times.
Maybe 2. And I did come close once, and I've had other shots where I remember hitting a second shot into a sand trap. And so I got it out of the sand trap and it went onto the green. But I went to pick up I knew it was on the green, and I went to pick up my club. And then I was looking and I'm like, wait, where's my ball? And I thought, it went off the other side. So I would go over there and I'm like, I can't find this ball anywhere.
And you were angry and
well, I was just like, it's like, where the heck could it be? So I start walking back to the cart where my clubs are. And I said, well, let me just check. It was in the hole.
And and then all of a sudden your spirits lifted.
It did. Did I do that?
Did I do that?
Yeah, I couldn't do it again. Anyway, let's find out more about and we only mention golf because it is a mental health. It's on one hand, if you play well, it's great for your mental health. And on the other hand, if you don't play well, I think you should seriously consider another hobby. But Aaron is here, and we have Dr. Gracia Etienne, as we always do, on a Friday morning to talk about TMS Clinic and their treatment options for those that have a mental health problem. So, Aaron, let me introduce you to Dr. Etienne.
Dr. Etienne, welcome. Welcome, and I apologize in advance that I am not Gary Sutton, but it's good to be able to talk to you. I've heard about your work, and I'm eager to learn some more.
Good morning, sir. No need to apologize. You're Gary.
Well, listen. I was looking at your website and learning more about York TMS. Tell me, like, how did you get into this work?
It's a quite interesting story, but I can make it short. I was introduced by a friend of mine to the company, the Neuronetics, the company that makes a NeuroStar, simply because they were looking for a way to offer TMS Clinic, their system, to the community. And honestly, I resisted because my background originally was orthopedics, and but they caught a wind of my reputation in town and said, okay, you'll be a good guy. After going after me, I told them no so many times. Finally, when I started reading the result and listening to patients' testimony and invited to basic science and clinical study courses, I realized this thing has potential. And it really honestly falls right within my goal, not career goal per se, but my goal as a human being to be part of my community and help to alleviate people's suffering. Mental health is a very heavy thing, and mental health is impacting a lot of people's life. Since I embarked, I decided to go on a crusade to create awareness for mental health and also let people know all the options that they have to find relief for their mental illnesses.
So talk to me in just a minute about who would be a likely candidate for TMS therapy.
TMS therapy is actually recommended or indicated for medication-resistant depression. So it's a fairly easy term to describe. It's people who have tried medicines and have not gotten the results that they really desire. There are some movements right now to make TMS the first line of treatment, because when we look at the results and we look at the side effect profiles and so on, but that's going to be for later. But for now, it's patients who have tried medicine and somehow they're not getting the results that they desire. It's currently indicated for depression mainly, and then OCD also, and there are some indications for smoking sensations and migraines and other things that are being studied right now. But the mainstay right now is for patients who are dealing with depression, and again, we don't even have to go through all the details how depression affects people's life, but that's where we really focus the main indications.
Can you give a layperson's explanation of how the treatment actually works? Because I find this very intriguing.
Yeah. TMS, the definition of the term itself may help a little bit. It's TMS, 3 letters, transcranial magnetic stimulation. So it simply means that for stimulation, you are stimulating something, and what are you stimulating? It's the cranial, so it's through the skull, and using magnetic pulses. So it's using very, very low magnetic pulses to stimulate areas of the brain to help patients wake up. Probably the best analogy I can give you, and I usually tell people, I'm going to give it to you, but forget it immediately. You may be too young, but it's the old age of electric shock therapy. So, but electricity, unfortunately, cannot be dialed. So it's not very well tolerated by patients. There are higher risk of there's risk of convulsions and so on and so forth. But TMS is very well tolerated because it's very, very low pulses. It's almost like, it can be as low, if not lower, than the pulse, the magnetic field you will go if you go for an MRI of your knee, your shoulder, or your elbow. That doesn't hurt at all. So patients can tolerate it. It can be done in a clinic setting instead of being under anesthesia in a hospital. It is actually based on the fact that whatever the etiology, whatever the cause of the depression is, the main pathway is that the cells in the brain are either dormant, so they are asleep, not activated, or if they are activated, they are deregulated. So they are still sending signals, but they're sending it in different directions. So you might as well be asleep. And what the low repetitive stimulation with the magnetic field does, it really awaken the cells if they were asleep, if they were dormant, reactivate them, and then regulate them so that the signals are going in the direction that they were supposed to go. So if you're in New York, you're going to D.C., you don't go to Philadelphia first and then start looking your way around before you find it. So you're heading to south toward Maryland, and then you'll make it to D.C. as opposed to just being deregulated. So you wake the cell up first, if it is a sleeping cell, sleeping neuron, so that's the name of the cells in the brain. And then you try to regulate the pathway, how they communicate with each other, how they send signals to each other. And the interesting thing is quite a few patients have actually been able to get off medicine completely and continue, and other patients may need to lower their dose of medicine, or if they were taking 4 or 5, or they're now taking 1 or something like that. So the success rate is a little bit broader than just one response. But what we've seen so far is 86% of patients will respond and have a positive outcome from the treatment, with a big 62% being completely eradicated. Completely. Wow. So where they don't need anything at all for the rest of their lives.
Wow, those impressive numbers. So people that are resistant to traditional drug medication are able to try this. For somebody who is suffering depression or other mental health disorders, is it possible to get this treatment without? Because I know some people are just resistant to wanting to get on drugs of any kind.
Yes. Some insurance companies will require, because right now, based on the FDA clearance / indication, it is for patients who have tried at least 2 meds. But it doesn't really say over the period of time and what the reason why you drop them and so on. So there's some insurance companies are a little bit more lenient one way or another, and depends on who's doing the review also, because it's becoming clearer and clearer that TMS is actually saving patients' lives, but it's also, interestingly, saving insurance companies money, because they don't have to keep their patients do not have to be on so many medicines, or even lower one hospitalization. Let me just put it that way. One hospitalization can actually cover the cost of so many treatments. So they see the importance of that. This is interestingly one of the few, if not the only medical procedure, where patients don't even need a referral to actually go. So you can self-refer. So that tells you already. Yeah, that tells you already. Again, I don't know what your experience with insurance companies is, but they usually don't want to pay. They make you go through hoops and leaps and so on. So this is one of the few procedures they would allow the patient to self-refer, because they know this actually it's working. It's not voodoo medicine. It's not hocus pocus. Yeah.
So just tell us real quickly, how do our listeners find your clinic? What's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Well, one of the big advantages is that we are right here in town, fairly accessible. We right on the north side of Route 30 on George Street, 1806 North George Street. So it's like 3 or 4 houses down the line. You see the clinic, a big purple and gray sign. So that's our physical location. But also people can call our phone numbers. We have 717-699-7361, 717-699-7361, or 717-403-0434. Or if someone who enjoy getting more information before you call, you can go on the website, which is YorkTMSclinic.com, www.yorktmsclinic.com. YorkTMSclinic.com, and we'll see all the testimonies. We enjoyed that, and you probably can feel the excitement in my voice. I really enjoy educating people on that because I feel it's necessary. Just something that is non-invasive, very well tolerated by patients, high success rate, covered by insurance companies, FDA approved. I feel it's only a question of education for people not to put it in their toolbox if you're dealing with this. So come in, anyone, just come in. We enjoy educating people on it.
That's wonderful. Your testimonials show that. One final question for you. Do you offer discounts to people who suffer from golf-induced depression?
Well, I'm going to tell you, Gary, that hole-in-one is overrated.
I'll believe it, Dr. Etienne. I'll believe it when I experience it. How's that?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. Well, hey, thank you so much for sharing some of your Friday morning with us. We are grateful for that, and I hope folks will go look you up at YorkTMSclinic.com.
Thank you. Let's continue the crusade for awareness.
Amen.
All right, that
Amen.
sounds
Thank
good.
you.
It is 7:51, 9 before 8 o'clock, and it is the Gary Sutton Show. By the way, coming up right after the break, we are going to talk about new additions to the National Register. Okay, these are sounds that they think should be saved to the National Register. So these are new, I wouldn't say new, but I mean, these are the latest inductees into the National Register. We will learn more about that next. As Aaron Anderson continues to guest host on the Gary Sutton Show, it is, well, it's late. We got to run.
It's Friday.
you go. Yeah, that sounds, this particular record, Blondie's The Tide Is High, sounds like a weekend record.
That feels like it, too.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's going to be kind of happy. Pass the margaritas, that kind of thing.
Were you a Blondie fan?
Not particularly. But this song always seemed like out of character for some, because she had a lot of dance-type music.
Okay.
And this was out of character. But it seemed happy and fun, and that was good enough for me. I don't need any more than that. So let's talk about the National Recording Register. A whole bunch of new sounds. And it usually includes a mix of like music, maybe spoken word, that kind of thing. I don't know what was inducted, but let's find out.
Albums and songs from Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Vince Gill, and more are heading into America's National Recording Registry at the Library of Congress. Swift's blockbuster 2014 pop album, 1989, Beyonce's 2008 anthem, Single Ladies, Put a Ring on It, and Vince Gill's ballad, Go Rest High on That Mountain, are entering the archive as part of the class of 2026. Also making the cut, Chaka Khan's Electric I Feel For You, the Go-Go's groundbreaking debut album, Beauty and the Beat, Reba McEntire's Rumor Has It, and Weezer's self-titled debut known as the Blue Album. This year also marks the first recordings by Swift and Beyonce selected for the registry. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
What do you think?
Well, first of all, let's start with, I didn't know there was a National Recording Registry.
Oh, sorry.
So, let's just start there.
Mm-hmm.
So, how is this something you can visit?
I think there is a website where you can access this stuff.
If only I had a computer at my fingertips that I could just ask that question.
It's one problem after another with you. You know that?
Yeah, it literally is.
Like, you're 50 years old.
My kids would just say, Dad, you're getting old.
Yeah.
So I didn't know there was a National Recording Registry. So now you have me intrigued there. Vince Gill, that's a great song, Go Rest High on the Mountain.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What was the last song?
Taylor Swift and Beyonce put a ring on it, and these are cultural cultural songs that made an impact. So I don't have a problem with it.
Who decides such?
I don't know.
Such things.
They didn't address that. But I have to play something though.
It doesn't take an act of Congress.
This is not going into the registry,
okay.
but.
If you're ready for a new ride right now, Jack Giambalvo's got a car for you in their pre-owned inventory department. You can go to GiambalvoPreOwnedInventory.com right now and find out all about it. When you buy pre-owned at Giambalvo, you get a couple of great things. Free lifetime PA state inspections for you and anybody in your household. 3-month, 3,000-mile warranty on most pre-owned vehicles, and their vehicles go through rigorous inspection to ensure they're roadworthy. That's the Giambalvo Gold Standard. It's been around for over 50 years here in the York County area. And shopping at Giambalvo is hassle-free and pressure-free. Just great vehicles, great people, and a smooth buying experience from the moment you walk in. Why don't you start your search today at GiambalvoPreOwnedInventory.com and tell them Gary Sutton proudly sent you. Jack Giambalvo family of dealerships has been around for over 50 years. They're ready to help make your purchase easy today. Turn your tax refund into your next ride and experience the Giambalvo difference today. Please tell them Gary Sutton sent you to Jack Giambalvo. GiambalvoPreOwnedInventory.com is where you go right now.
So next hour, very busy hour. We have Jim McClure, York historian. We also have Dennis Owens with ABC 27 News and Dr. Nick Pandelides. Although if we have to short somebody up, I think it's going to be Dr. Nick.
No, we can't do that.
No, he expects it.
Oh, no. We would never do that.
He has low expectations with this program. No, trust me. So we will get to all that coming up. How about a check of news as Aaron Anderson continues as guest host of the Gary Sutton Show. It's 8 o'clock.
This is York's only local show on York's only local station. This is the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK.
Listen to your show every day. It's really good.
I have you guys on every morning to wake up to.
Gary Sutton, mornings 6 to 9 on Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOYK.
All the things you're talking about are all the things we're talking about. It's Main Street America every day.
And you're getting your money's worth.
You're a brilliant mind, tremendous experience. You're great for the community.
The Gary Sutton Show on York's first station, WOYK.
Here's Johnny.
Now, broadcasting live from WOYK's downtown York studios inside Wellspan Park, here's Gary Sutton.
Gary's got one more hour, technically, of his show to relax and recover from surgery yesterday. And he had a procedure done, was successful, and he's anticipating being back on Monday, and we will be glad to have him at that time. And until then, though, our final hour of the week, it's guest host Aaron Anderson, chosen by availability, I believe.
Well, was that? Wait a minute. I was clearly told I was at the top of the list. Now you just told me I was chosen by availability. That sounds terrible, Mark.
It doesn't.
That's like, well, there's 7 people on a list, and then there's one more name that we're not even going to mention. Like, oh shoot, 7 people couldn't do it, so we're going to go with the one who's not on the list.
Well,
whatever.
Here
I am.
Jamie wasn't available for a third day, so
that's too.
So we went with
too
you.
bad.
We went with their boss.
Well.
So
well, Jim McClure and I go back a long way.
We do. We're going to talk with Jim in just a minute, but stand by. Our food holidays. We're going to mention our food holidays again in just a moment, and that is because
our presenting sponsors of the Gary Sutton Show are Kindness Worldwide and Stein and Sparler, attorneys at law. Kindness Worldwide, where you can find them right now. Do one act of kindness today and change your world. Kindness Worldwide is ready to help you with that today. And then also, Stein and Sparler, attorneys at law, located at 117 East Market Street here in York. They are ready to help you with all of your law needs. 717-846-8811 is their number, open Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 5. We are the proud sponsors here of the Gary Sutton Show with Stein and Sparler, attorneys at law, and kindnessworldwide.org.
So the food holidays today may be one of the best. National Chocolate Chip Day.
Yes, that's a great one.
Do you have
I love chocolate chips and all kinds of things.
Yes, chocolate chip cookies.
And
ice cream.
You said shards, chips.
Yes,
small. I thought you were going to talk about small chips versus large chips, but then you went towards shards.
Either one of those.
Shavings, chocolate shavings.
There is another. I mentioned the Tillamook chocolate chip cookie dough.
That's great.
They have little chunks of cookie dough, which are okay. That's not really my favorite. What I like about the ice cream is these little shards of chocolate chips, and they actually kind of crunch. They're frozen and they have angles, and it's quite a sensation. And then on the flip side of that, they have another flavor. I believe it's called malt something.
Yes, Tillamook. I love Tillamook ice cream.
And this malt one, what they have is big chunks of chocolate. I mean, big. And both of those, the shards and the big chunks, are all forms of chocolate chips. So that's all good. And by the way, it is National Pizza Party Day. Did you say you were going to have a pizza party?
Pizza movie night in the Anderson House. Always Friday night pizza.
And what do you order?
We either make our own pizza.
No kidding.
Yes, we either make it.
Wow.
Sometimes we'll grill it, but we also will order it. Depending on how much work we're.
What's it going to be tonight?
That's a good question. The question is whether we have. The question will be whether there's basketball games happening.
I see.
This week, which I know there are.
Is there a favorite kind of pizza?
My crew is pretty big on pepperoni.
Yes.
Hot honey has also become a thing.
I like that too.
And
yes.
Okay. I mean, I'm getting this is. It's only 8:00, and you got me thinking about ice cream, pizza.
It is my job.
I barely had a cup of coffee this morning.
You did have a cup of coffee.
I did have a cup of coffee, but
was that a venti?
What that one? I don't know.
Yeah, it's the large.
Vente, yeah, that's
right.
use the common
Yes.
English.
Is
buddy.
that right?
Yeah.
Did I throw you?
We're not all as sophisticated. Though, I did see Jim. I did.
Sophisticated. That's the second time you're
very
used that word for me.
You're very sophisticated.
Why is that? Is it my T-shirt?
I mean, we should have people call your T-shirt. Yeah, the Prestige Apparel
really?
staff.
Yes, really.
Yeah.
Look at this.
When we bring in Jim McClure, he posted something just recently.
Well, do it now.
Let's go. Let's bring the talk about sophistication. Let's bring Jim McClure in to get this ship going back in the right direction. Jim, good morning. How are you doing?
Doing well, Aaron, and happy 50th. I'm thinking that's why they brought you on here to guest host to help you celebrate your birthday.
I hope so. Jim, I was thinking back when I first came to York. I was, and you were responsible for helping bring me to York. I was 27 years old when I moved to York. That's hard to believe. It's been a few years.
A young Aaron Anderson. Well, I would just say that our topic today, Thaddeus Stevens, was even younger than 27 when he came to York. So, that's two notes in history here. Thaddeus Stevens coming to York in 1815, and Aaron Anderson coming to York around 2003 or so.
That's an interesting comparison. One of those people was very significant. Hey, before we jump to Thaddeus Stevens, though, let me get your opinion on this since it is National Chocolate Chip Day. You posted a question online that I thought was a great question. Hershey's Kisses versus Wilbur Buds. So I kind of want to hear your opinion. Hershey's Kisses or Wilbur Buds?
Well, I would go for Wilbur Buds any day. And it's interesting, I posted another thing about putting Hershey Kisses or Hershey bars in chili,
yes,
as a way of sweetening to them. Yeah, and so you got to wonder whether... And some people say, you can't put milk chocolate in chili. You have to put dark chocolate. So I don't know where that discussion goes, but I'd have to say that I go with the Wilbur Buds.
I was in Lidditz. 2 weeks ago, and for the first time, I stopped into the factory store. So if you get a chance to go to Lidditz and go to the Wilbur Buds factory store, I brought back some bags for my kids. I'm gonna have to say Wilbur Buds. I like Kisses just fine, but I'm gonna have to go with Wilbur Buds.
Yeah, if you want to really get another chocolate experience there in Lidditz, you go over to the Hilton across the street in the old Wilbur Buds factory, and it smells like chocolate in there.
Oh.
So it has a chocolate smell.
You're speaking my language. Like I said, it's 8:00 and we're talking chocolate and pizza already, and I probably need to have a bowl of oatmeal or something before I get started with all of that. Yeah. So let's talk Thaddeus Stevens. So tell us, what's the significance of the moment with Thaddeus Stevens?
Yeah, he came to York. Let's just start at the beginning. And he's a Dartmouth grad, came to York to teach at York, the forerunner to York College called York County Academy. And while he was here in York for about a year, he got his law license, not in York, but Northern Maryland, but that was during that time. And so he had a decision, where am I going to practice, so he started off in Gettysburg. And, he later on went to fame as the great commoner who was responsible for, the amendments 13, 14, 15 that had to do with racial equality. But I think the significance here that we can get into a little bit if you want to is I know someone wrote a book called Unlikely Good.
Yes.
And you may be familiar with them. And one of the themes in that book is you can start locally and make a difference locally. And that's what Thaddeus Stevens did. At first, from about 1815 to 1842, he was basically a lawyer here, Gettysburg, York, Gettysburg, mainly Gettysburg, and he was in the State House and so on, but he didn't really reach his national fame until much later in life. So that you probably have something to say about paying your dues locally, trying to make change locally.
I think so. I do. And it was a wise elder years ago who encouraged me when I moved into York City. That was Jim McClure. He said, there's gonna be a lot of things for you to get involved in. You're gonna have to be very, very careful about what you choose, find things that are mission aligned, but, definitely go get involved in the city and the community. And so that was, Mark, that was Jim McClure's influence on my life, and that was wise words. Actually, Jim gave me, anyone who's new to York, Jim gave me the Rusk Report when I moved to York, and I remember having the full paper edition of it and devoured it, and it was so telling to get some history of York. So
can we pause things for just a second and get back to you in just a moment, because we have a sponsor this hour, and it's a place very close to Gary's heart. So we'll be back in 60 seconds.
This hour of the Gary Sutton Show, the 8 o'clock hour, brought to you by Regis Glen Country Club, York, PA's most casual country club where the community gathers. Enjoy everything Regis has to offer at very affordable prices, from their award-winning Arthur Hills design golf course, well-maintained, to an 8-acre practice area surrounded by 100-year-old white oak trees and sitting alongside the beautiful Codorus Creek, to a relaxing day at the pool by the Fairway Table dining facility. Memberships include use of all club facilities, including fitness, swimming, dining, pickleball, tennis, and social activities. Visit Regis Glen Country Club right now. Give them a call at 717-747-1919 and ask for Lacey, the general manager, for a free trip around Regis Glen Country Club to find out how membership can be very attainable for you.
Gary Sutton Show on WOYK with guest host Aaron Anderson and his guest, Jim McClure, York County historian.
Jim, so thanks for the pause there. Let me ask you this as a historian, talking about York in this moment, being a historian, looking at current events in York, what do you see right now as you think about York, Pennsylvania, greatest challenges and or opportunities, that we really need to be addressing here locally?
Yeah, I think that, and Gary and I have talked about this before, in terms of this isn't a well, it is a micro issue, is the data centers. I think that is the story of the year and maybe of the decade, where there are 6 data centers, that are scheduled to come in here, and not scheduled, but they're somewhere in the planning stage. So those would be larger than warehouses, and would take on more power, electricity, water, and so on, drain on resources. So, that's a discussion point, mainly outside York. It's in the rural townships where they're eyeing to build these. So, it could change the nature of York from, if all of them go in, which is unlikely, but even if a couple go in, these will be major centers in York. So I think that in the grassroots, to our earlier discussion, our grassroots really has responded to that, and in a negative way, they don't want, we paid enough of power over the course of time. Why should we, pay even more to have these mammoth warehouses? So the grassroots is largely against it, and so we'll see what turns out. And I want to think a little bit about Thaddeus Stevens here. We talk about him right now because a new center has opened up over in Lancaster County, called the Thaddeus Stevens Lydia Hamilton Smith Center. Lydia Hamilton Smith being his manager of his households in the later part of his life. So there's a brand new museum open over there in Lancaster. So we're talking about him now. He started in New York. And I sometimes think about how he dealt with change, and I think that it's applied here is, because he's been described as his personality is bitter, unyielding, malignant, unscrupulous, unforgiving. That was Thaddeus Stevens. But so he acted as a disruptor, and he could get results with that type of personality. And and then you have to think about, so do we model our opposition to data centers and so forth after him, or do we model that after one of his bosses, Abraham Lincoln, who was kind of the opposite of that in terms of his impact on America, but yet still very effective.
Yeah, fascinating. Jim, just a couple of questions here for you. Your last, you've written, it's the 250th, right? You've written a book. You've written actually a number of books. point us to maybe can you have a favorite book of your own that you could point us to if people want to dig in and learn some more of the history that you're highlighting here? Any particular works that you would point to?
Well, in terms of my own, I just did Never Be Forgotten. I redid it, which is 25 years later, and I added a lot of material to it, and so that really does walk you through York County's history. I would say, in terms of what others have written, one I would point people to is Scott Mingus's "The Ground Swallowed Them Up," which is a study of the Underground Railroad in York County. But it talks about enslavement in the 1700s in York County, and it really does bring us through the Civil War. So there's a lot of good lessons in there, and and it does ties into Thaddeus Stevens, who also was involved with the Underground Railroad, or is believed to have been involved with the Underground Railroad in his lifetime.
But your book, Never to Be Forgotten: History of York County, PA, and Jim, I believe you've got a session coming up. You're speaking at the East Berlin Historical Preservation Society, May 20th, 7:30. And what's going to be the topic there?
Yeah, talking about the Declaration of Independence before, after, and during the American Revolution, connecting the Declaration of Independence to York County. And there's quite a few connections there. So, yeah, this is kind of the Super Bowl for people that talk about the American Revolution nowadays. Is a lot of opportunities to talk and learn about the American Revolution on this America 250 Eve.
Man, well, Mark, I always love in my book, actually, Unlikely Good, I say, when you're looking at a community's problem, you should always ask the historian. For their perspective, you can learn a lot. And Jim, thank you for talking about Thaddeus Stevens this morning with us, and thank you for enlightening us on the Wilbur Budd Hershey's Kiss debate. And hope you have a great weekend, Jim.
Yeah, and happy working on number 51 there.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks so much, Jim.
Good job. Good
Be
job.
well.
Good job. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it was quite a doubleheader yesterday. As a matter of fact, historic, and we'll get into the details of that with some highlights of yesterday's doubleheader from the Revolution. Right now, though, let's check in with some sponsors. Here, it's 8:22 as Aaron Anderson co-hosting with me on the Gary Sutton Show as Gary recovers and successfully from successful surgery. And stick around.
He swings, pops it up. Shallow right center. No man's land. It falls. It's a base hit. Dunn scores. Here comes Brown. Throw from right. He dives in. Bates to second. Safe there as the throw goes into center. And Austin Bates with a 2-run bloop single. The Revs lead it 4-0 here in the second inning. Is up first, new pitcher again, and he swings and hits one way up in the air and way deep in left. Decker is back, looking up at the big wall. It clears. It's out of here. Devontae Brown with his 4th home run of the year. A towering shot to left field and out into the neighborhood. And they lead it now 13-0 here in the 4th. Reagan's from the stretch, and Ross swings and drives one deep down the line in left field, right down the line and fair. It's a home run.
Bye-bye. Jackson
Ross with his 3rd of the year. And the Revs now lead it 2-0 here in the second inning. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a drive deep to left field. Line shot. Gone. It was high enough to clear the nemesis. And Brandon Lewis with his 9th home run of the year. Swings and launches one high in the air in left center field. Wagner is back. Nearing the wall. It is gone. Jackson Ross goes yard again. Skyscraping home run into the playground in left center. He's homered in both games of this doubleheader. Floater golfed into shallow center. It's down past a diving Briggs. Blackwell scores. Lewis at second. He's heading for third base. And an RBI triple, 10-0 here in the 3rd.
Oh, it was an amazing day. They've been hosting Staten Island all week, and the game on Wednesday night was postponed, so they had a single admission doubleheader yesterday. And the Revs won the first game 17-4, and then they won the second game 8-5. So the Revs have won 4 in a row. They will play again tonight, again hosting the Ferry Hawks. And that game time in the stadium, 6:30. And, of course, it'll be on the air here. If you can't get to it, Darrell Henry will have all the action starting at 6:15. By the way, so what part was historic yesterday? It was the crowd of 6,466. It was Education Day. So a lot of students were here. But here's the thing. It was a record crowd for any home day game in franchise history. And we're talking about 19 years. So,
man, has it been 19 years?
Yes. Next year will be the 20th season.
I had the privilege, the first year the Revs came here, I was coaching Little League, and they had a York Revolution Little League team.
Oh, really?
And I coached that team.
No kidding. How did they do?
We were phenomenal. I mean, movies were made.
Movies were made. Oh, please. Oh,
come on, Mark.
Oh, my goodness. Boy, he turns 50 and he's
losing in my mind, movies were made.
Yes.
How's that? Is it better?
Yes.
Okay.
We are about to continue the final half hour without Gary Sutton this week. And Aaron Anderson is going to stick around. He's going to talk with Dennis Wilson of ABC News. Did I say Dennis Wilson? Did I say Wilson?
I don't know who Dennis Wilson. I know Dennis Owens.
From the
Mr. Wilson.
Dennis Wilson. He's with the Beach Boys. Dennis Owens.
Mr. Wilson from what was this?
I'm juggling too many things here. That's what I'm going to blame it on. ABC 27 News, and also Dr. Nick, if we can squeeze him in.
Oh, we're going to do it.
And we've got a check of news that is coming up next at WOYK.
This hour of the Gary Sutton Show, the 8 o'clock hour, brought to you by Regis Glen Country Club, York, PA's most casual country club where the community gathers. Enjoy everything Regis has to offer at very affordable prices, from their award-winning Arthur Hills design golf course, well-maintained, to an 8-acre practice area surrounded by 100-year-old white oak trees and sitting alongside the beautiful Codorus Creek, to a relaxing day at the pool by the Fairway Table dining facility. Memberships include use of all club facilities, including fitness, swimming, dining, pickleball, tennis, and social activities. Visit Regis Glen Country Club right now. Give them a call at 717-747-1919 and ask for Lacey, the general manager, for a free trip around Regents Glen Country Club to find out how membership can be very attainable for you.
'81 bumper music continues this week on the Gary Sutton Show. Gary successfully rehabbing now after his surgery yesterday, or I don't know, I guess you would call it surgery. I mean, they had to knock him out and had to do this, so I guess that's surgery, but it's not in like the traditional sense, like, a big incision and, going in and cleaning things out and, you know what I mean? No,
I don't know what you mean.
Sorry. Anyway, he's going to be back on
cleaning.
Monday. Yes. Well, I mean,
you lost me at cleaning.
Is that right? And so we have in his stead, we have the newly 50-year-old Aaron Anderson.
Minted.
Yes. He has been in this community, as we just learned with our conversation with Jim McClure. How many years?
It was 2004, so 22.
There you go.
22 plus, going on 23 years.
Technically, you're still a newcomer. So,
they told me when I moved here, it said, in 20 years, people will, they'll consider you one of us.
No.
And then they switched it recently to 30.
Yes.
30 years.
Yes, I've been here 40, and that's how that's.
And you're still.
That's right.
I don't know if they're ever going to accept you, Mark.
New England, it's okay.
Especially a New Englander.
That really?
Yeah.
I know. especially, well, I'll just move on. We have not a lot of time left. And one of the things we haven't spent a lot of time on today was some state news. And we've got some in the headlines, if you will, with the state budget. We've got John Fetterman saying he wouldn't switch parties to become a Republican, but he's still kind of a thorn in the side of many Democrats. And then the governor's race, and we got the primary coming up next week. And who better to know more about these things than a guy who's been covering it for longer than Aaron Anderson has been in York. It is, and it's not Dennis Wilson.
It's not Dennis Owens. Dennis, great to have you on this morning. So tell us what's happening in the state that's worthy of discussion.
Well, first of all, you were just described as the bon vivant of the community, and I had to go to my French dictionary, but I didn't have bon vivant on my bingo card for Friday morning.
I don't even know how to spell that to go search it. I would go, that's what I normally do. I would go search it. But I told this guy, Mark McKenzie, he's sophisticated, a bon vivant.
All right, stand by, both of you. Stand by.
Oh my God.
It is.
Obviously, we have a primary election on Tuesday. Hopefully everybody goes out and votes. As you've seen, if you've been watching the airwaves, there are a couple of pretty testy primary races. The Senate, which is in the 48th in Lebanon County, Chris Gebhardt, and the challenger is Clovis Crane, and it's basically a proxy fight over skill games. The skill games are taking shots at Chris Gebhardt because he has introduced a bill that would tax them at a higher rate than they like, and then the casino interests are backing Gebhardt, so they're doing nasty ads towards Clovis Crane in what is usually a sleepy Republican primary in Lebanon, Berks, and Lancaster counties is anything but, if anybody's paying attention on TV and on their computers and on their mailboxes. So that's an interesting one to keep an eye on, because after all, there's not even a Democrat filed, so the election in that race is on Tuesday, and there's a number of those races in which the primary is the election. So pay attention. I hope everybody's registered. I hope everybody goes out to vote. One of the big bombshells, I think, however, in the state this week was when the state Supreme Court Justice David Wecht announced, now he's a longtime Democrat, and we know judges aren't supposed to be partisan when it comes to ruling, and he insists he is not. But he had been a Democrat and was elected as a Democrat, and previously, before taking the bench, was a vice president of the statewide Democratic Party. So he's connected Democrat, and he's Jewish. And he announced, I am renouncing my party. I'm no longer a Democrat. I am now an independent. And the reason he says is that his words, quote, anti-Jew hatred is accepted among many in the Democratic Party. It is not just a fringe situation. It is now too accepted among many in the mainstream of the Democratic Party. He said, I cannot abide that. I am now an independent and not a Democrat. So that certainly is unusual. He did make clear he was making that statement as David Wecht, the citizen of Pennsylvania, not David Wecht, the Supreme Court Justice of Pennsylvania.
I thought that was that did feel a little bit like a bit of a bombshell there, and I was curious. I don't know that I saw. Obviously our governor is Jewish. I hadn't heard if there was any reaction from the governor. Did I miss something?
Well, you didn't miss something, and it's funny you say that because I taped This Week in Pennsylvania, the show I do on the weekend, the political talk show. A cheap plug there, by the way, on ABC 27. But we mentioned that very thing, that Josh Shapiro is arguably the most prominent Jewish Democrat in America.
Right.
And he comments, he's been very strong and virulent in his comments about anti-Semitism and how opposed he is to it. And he also comments on almost every other thing. And the silence has been deafening of the specific allegation that the Democratic Party is too cozy with anti-Semitism. We've not heard Democrat Josh Shapiro say anything about that. So you just asked a very good question, and the answer is no, he has not. I did check in 3 times with his staff this week, and the fact is he really hasn't been in front of a camera. He will be today, at an avail, what we call an avail, a press availability. It will be interesting to see if anybody asked him that. But as of now, he has not specifically commented on the pretty harsh comment made by David Weck.
Have there been? I haven't seen. Have there been other prominent Democrats who have come out and rejected, openly rejected what the justice had to say?
No, actually, John Fetterman did comment saying he understands. He said, John Fetterman, Democratic U.S. Senator, said, I understand what Weck is saying. I will not renounce the party, but the party needs to pay attention to that. That's what John Fetterman said.
Dennis, how do you see this? This is interesting. How do you see this playing into the upcoming elections?
Well, Gary and I have talked about it a lot. He talked about the upcoming election for governor or the upcoming potential election for Josh Shapiro as vis-a-vis presidential candidate, possibly.
Yeah, I think I'm looking. I'm looking beyond the gubernatorial race to to what could be. We don't know yet who will be the candidates quite yet for president, but I think most of us are expecting Shapiro's name to appear there. So I guess I'm looking that direction.
Well, I'm expecting that as well. I think you're right on that. And Gary and I have talked about where I said I never thought I would see the day that being Jewish would work against you in a Democratic primary nationally. And I think that is a possibility. In fact, talking to many analysts, that is really going to work against him. I have heard also he is trying to create a little daylight, he being Josh Shapiro. He is a very strong supporter of Israel in general, but he has begun criticizing Benjamin Netanyahu and some of his tactics here during the war. And so perhaps that's an attempt to create some daylight there to be pro-Israel, but not necessarily like all of the things that Israel is doing, especially in the war in Iran. So we shall see. But the broader picture is, and the fair question is, can a Jewish person win a Democratic primary? And I never thought there would be a situation in which, because someone is Jewish on the Democratic side, that would be a disqualifier. Because if you're a national Democrat, you want to win, right? You want to beat Donald Trump, and you want to get the right candidate that can do that. And whoever's going to run next time, whether it's J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio, you want to win and put the Trump chapter behind you. And if you're a national Democrat, and you're especially a big donor, and you're trying to figure out which course should I back, you're thinking of pros and cons of all the various names out there. And I think one of the negative checks might be, well, Josh Shapiro is Jewish, and that's going to alienate some people. Now, he's a terrific politician. He's a governor of the biggest battleground states. Those are both checks in the positive column. But it is just interesting to see how that's going to play out.
So let's go back to this justice. I mean, looking at his words, his words were strong on this topic. He specifically accused the party of acquiescence to Jew hatred. He said, "I'll no longer abide this. I'm no longer registered with any political party," which I think, before you jump to conclusions, should look at that. But he makes this comment that Jew hatred has moved from the fringe to the mainstream.
Right.
Yeah. What's your reaction? What's your reaction to that, Dennis?
Well, that's certainly a damning statement, and David Weck is a very bright person. Is that true? I don't know that Dennis Owens, would personally make that leap that I see it mainstream, but I do. And by the way, one thing to note, and I didn't quite notice it until my analyst, Christopher Nicholas, who wrote extensively on this, he said, you notice, he's not playing the Israel game. He's saying it's anti-Jew hatred. He's not playing we don't like what Netanyahu's doing, but we still love it. He's talking about anti-Jew hatred in America.
Right.
And very, very strong, and there is a little distinction there.
He goes on to say, I remember reading this: Nazi tattoos, jihadist chants, intimidation and attacks at synagogues, other hateful anti-Jewish invective and actions are minimized, ignored, and even coddled. I remember reading those words and I thought, that's really, I'm very curious to see what the reaction, because those are pretty damning words.
They are indeed, and again, I don't think there's been enough reaction to it. It's a bigger story, I think, than really has been laid out. And again, this is not a fringe player. It's a sitting Supreme Court justice who used to have a role in the Democratic Party, who, by the way, was married in the same synagogue in Squirrel Hill that was attacked a couple of years ago.
Right. Well, it's an interesting, because I mean, for some time now, the talk of the Republican Party has been the talk of extremes, and some of those same things that are being described here have been described in those rallies, and then to see a sitting Pennsylvania Supreme Court justice come out and say this, I'm a little surprised there hasn't been more reaction and more talk to it. So from my perspective, I am curious to hear whether the governor will address this and how the party is going to respond to this.
And you touched on what I think is the most. He says in his letter, look, there's always been that kind of behavior on the fringes in both parties, and he's right. But when he's drawing a target on the mainstream of the party, that's where this could be a Democratic problem.
I think you're right. Time will tell, and we will have to continue to look to people like you, Dennis, to help us to stay on top of the news. And so, Dennis,
so I'll try to stay on top of the news, but no one will ever call me a bon vivant. So
bon vivant. Well, now that I know how to spell it, I did find out that it means someone who is it's French for a good liver, someone who lives luxuriously refined and sociable life. I have never been called anything like a bon vivant. There's only one bon vivant sitting in this studio right now, and I am looking at his back as he wears a shirt that says staff on it. Hey, final question. Any quick update on the state budget?
Well, the House Democrats have passed their version and challenged the Senate Republicans to do the same. Senate Republicans, and all of them, frankly, were so concerned about the budget that they then took, as most of us do, 3 weeks off for an election, primary election, essentially. And they'll be back. We'll see on June 1st. The deadline for the budget is June 30. But as we know, we blow past deadlines on almost a yearly basis. So we shall see.
Well, thank you, Dennis. I hope you have a great weekend, and may you go away being a connoisseur of pleasure, a bon vivant.
Thank you very much. Have a great weekend.
Have a great one.
Oh, my Lord. Wasn't that was very interesting.
It was very interesting.
And that was, and he brought some interesting perspective to that, and appreciate the conversation. We have one more person to talk to, and it is Dr. Nick. I'm trying to see if we can squeeze him in. So
let's do it.
Let's see if we can. And so stick around to see if that happens. It's WOYK, the Gary Sutton Show. Aaron Anderson guest hosting.
Thomasville Country Auction is all ready to have a sale for you today. They've been doing this for over 40 years, and Jack and Cheryl Hooks love to help you out. Whether you're moving, you're downsizing, you have an estate to settle, it doesn't matter. And they're looking for collections and real estate right now to make some of those sales happen in the future. Give them a call today at 717-764-5403. Have them come out to your home, talk to you about a sale, answer all the questions, what to expect, what not to expect, and then let them determine the right number of sales or that will help your situation the best. They'll even haul the items from your house to their auction house and make that sale a reality. They have sales every Monday, Wednesday, and every other Saturday, and they are ready to help you. Their next sale coming up on Monday, May 18th, has estate, gold, jewelry, a thonnet, a chest, lift chair, and a bedroom set, to name a few things on it. Go to ThomasvilleCountryAuction.com today and find out what their sales are all about. Thomasville Country Auction. Give them a call today at 717-764-5403 or head on out there Monday at 4 p.m. Thomasville Country Auction, Route 30 West at the railroad tracks in Thomasville.
Gary Sutton Show and Aaron Anderson is guest host. Your final break. Gary should be back on Monday after a successful procedure yesterday. And normally at this time, we have Dr. Nick. And since this is other than Gary not being here, this is a normal thing. So let's have Dr. Nick on.
Dr. Nick, this is Aaron Anderson. Great to talk to you. How you doing?
Good, Aaron. How you been?
I'm doing great. We're going to be together, I think, sometime soon. We sit on a board together.
Yeah, for the Threefold School.
Threefold Schoolhouse. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you. Hey, I know you get to put the punctuation at the end of the sentence of the week. Gary told me that they bring you in, which is a good choice. Bring Dr. Nick Pandalidis in to make a final exclamation on the week. So what do you have to share with us?
Well, so government fraud and more government fraud. The Small Business Administration had a program that was to protect sort of small venues and theaters. It was a $10 billion program. I guess they did an audit recently and found that, rather than going to these theaters that the program was developed for, it mostly went to talent agencies and actually the performers themselves. So some very well-known performers. One guy got a jet, another guy, several $1 million. But fraud across the government is much bigger. It's estimated in the healthcare, Medicare and Medicaid, it's as much as nearly $200 billion a year. And it just, to me, what it speaks to is, number one, it's not their money, the bureaucracy's money, so they don't kind of steward it the way that we do. And then, even a little further, so much influence is bought by people that would carve-outs and special treatment. That all leads to and predisposes to fraud. So our country is in this huge debt, and yet we're not making enough efforts to curb the inefficient and fraudulent spending, which seems to be a first place to start.
Yeah. So when you look at that, Dr. Pandalidis, what's a simple, one simple solution to dealing with that?
Yeah, I think it's just looking at making sure there are audits done relatively frequently, and that those audits are accurate. So one of the biggest schemes is, and this just happened in Florida, but it has been repeated across the country, is allegedly providing goods and services that were never provided. So the simple thing to do in terms of the audit is a bill is submitted. It says, this person received this service or this product, and then just following up with those persons. Did it actually happen? Are those people real?
Got it.
So it's a big system for sure.
Audits. Audits are the way to go. Dr. Pandalidis, thank you so much. Sorry to close out. I hope you have a great weekend. I'm looking forward to seeing you.
All right.
Thank you, Dr.
Oh, I'm sorry. Stand by. We're about ready to close it out. Got one more thing to do.
This hour of the Gary Sutton Show, the 8 o'clock hour, brought to you by Regis Glen Country Club, York, PA's most casual country club where the community gathers. Enjoy everything Regis has to offer at very affordable prices, from their award-winning Arthur Hills design golf course, well-maintained, to an 8-acre practice area surrounded by 100-year-old white oak trees and sitting alongside the beautiful Codorus Creek, to a relaxing day at the pool by the Fairway Table dining facility. Memberships include use of all club facilities, including fitness, swimming, dining, pickleball, tennis, and social activities. Visit Regis Glen Country Club right now. Give them a call at 717-747-1919 and ask for Lacey, the general manager, for a free trip around Regis Glen Country Club to find out how membership can be very attainable for you.
Well, you know what? I think we actually have arrived at the end of the program.
We did it.
We did do it.
We made it.
Bring Flowers to Someone Day.
Yes.
Dinosaur Day, Endangered Species Day, International Day of Families, NASCAR Day, National Bike to Work Day.
Pizza there.
Yes, Pizza Party Day, National Senior Fraud Awareness Day, and Peace Officers Memorial Day. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening this
My
week.
goodness.
Especially with the little things that have gone wrong, and we appreciate your patience. And of course, Gary will be back on Monday. Can't wait to hear all about his travails. And Aaron Anderson, bon vivant, thank you so much for helping us.
It was great being
Excellent.
here today.
Have a good weekend, everyone. Be safe and stand by. News, it's 9 o'clock.